We condensed our QuickBooks file, but still use the old one for reference. What can I do so my staff doesn't get these two files confused? Yeah, I'm really glad you asked that question. QuickBooks can be used to open up, certain versions of QuickBooks can be used to open up more than one file at the same time. And depending on the version of QuickBooks, you can even have two different installations of the program and have two files open at once. And my favorite, it is too easy for someone to open up the wrong file, the file that's supposed to be kind of frozen in time and not being changed anymore, but just for read only, and then make changes and then come back later and feel like, oops, okay, that's a bad day for everyone, right? So I'll tell you some of my favorite techniques. So number one, not many people really take advantage of this, but in QuickBooks Desktop, all of the editions, Pro, Premier, Enterprise, you can actually change the color scheme of the interface. You can make the old company purple, so that when you're working in the new company in some other color, or the default color is like navy blue or whatever it is, you know that if you open up the file and it's purple, it's this visceral reaction like, oh gosh, I'm in the other file. It's not a feature that a lot of people pay attention to. You figure, oh, I'm going to do my accounting. Not many people think about the color scheme. But if you work in more than one QuickBooks Desktop file, the color scheme is a must, because that is one of the key indicators to sighted accountants that they're working in file A or file B. Another thing to consider is to change the company name, not just the file name where it says, company XYZ.QBW, but inside the QuickBooks file, there's a place where you enter the company name. That name shows up on all the reports. You can put anything you want in there. You can put XYZ company if that's the name of the company, or you can put do not change in all caps. And anytime you run a report, that's going to be at the top center of it. Do not change, do not change. So that can also be something that's helpful. Another thing that can be incredibly useful is a closing date password. So let's say the cutoff date for the file condense was, let's use today's date, August 28th, 2018. That means no transactions on or before that date should be changed in the old file. All the details are going to stay there for reference. You're going to make a copy of the file, condense it down, and use that going forward, right? You're only looking at the old one with all the details to reference it. So you can put a closing date password, which is in the edit menu followed by preferences. You have to be in single user mode. You might have to be in there as the administrator, but company preferences, accountant or accounting, and you can enter not only a closing date of 8/28/18, but a password. And yeah, guard that password. Make sure that that nobody makes changes. There should not be a reason to make changes in the old file. Especially because generally when you do a file condense, you don't pick a recent date. You pick a date that's old enough, that's recent enough that you can still reduce your file size and increase the processing speed by losing a lot of the details intentionally, but enough in the past that you're not getting rid of detail that you still require on a day-to-day basis and something that might possibly be changed. So choose a closing date and put a password on it. Those are my some of my three favorite techniques. And for a bonus technique, move the old file and rename it. So the first time someone browses to it, they're going to have to browse to it manually. They won't just be able to open it and open QuickBooks and it'll open right away. It won't be there for the software to automatically reach into that location. It will be renamed and in, let's say, a subfolder called File Pre-Condensed from 8/28/18, with all the details. So the first time somebody goes into it, they have to browse to it manually in order to go in for reference. It's going to be bright blazing purple or something, and there's going to be a closing date password. So, and the company name in reports is going to be called something different. So those are my favorite techniques for helping to not put transactions in the wrong file.